What's up, guys? It's your boy Turtle, aka Turtle Gets Bodies, Facebook and Twitch content creator. Usually slaying out in Warzone, um, but today I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. I want to start doing a lot of fantasy football tips, fantasy football draft recaps, just anything and everything to do fantasy football wise. I'm gonna start doing weekly on YouTube. So I have a draft pulled up that I did the other day. This is a $100 one keeper league that I'm in every year. Typically the same people. This year we had an exception. We had a guy back out, and so the guy that joined in got to pick a player from his team. Unfortunately, AJ Brown happened to be the best player on that guy's team. AJ Brown is a great talent. Don't get me wrong, but he's not a first round draft pick. But besides AJ Brown and Aaron Jones, who are both obviously not top 10 players, pretty much everybody else, Derrick Henry, Najee Harris, Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp, CMC, Austin Eckler, Justin Jefferson, and Jamar Chase are all top 10. Very worthy of a keeper spot. It does suck for these two up top. They are at a small disadvantage when it comes to the keepers. Going into the technical first round of the draft, even though it is round two, um, Alvin Kamara taking number one. It's exactly what I expected. It's what I would have done. I actually had a lot of drafts come through where I was getting him at 8. I had the 8th pick in the draft. Um, so it obviously didn't. These people aren't dumb. So Alvin Kamara number one. I completely understand that he had a wide receiver. He has to go running back 100%. Don't dispute that at all. I do not like the second pick here by Swoosh. He has Aaron Jones as his number one running back, and he went Stephon Diggs. I love Stephon Diggs. Diggs is a great player. Top to me, top 5 receiver in the league, easy. But the thing is, you have Aaron Jones as your number one. I definitely would have rather have taken Dalvin Cook or Joe Mixon, even maybe Swift at this point. Um, just to stack up running backs because Aaron Jones, who knows what's going to happen with him and AJ Dillon. They're going to be splitting a lot more and more, in my opinion. So Diggs definitely a questionable pick for me. I would have waited with Aaron Jones being my number one running back. This right here to me is the most deadly of 1-2 punch combinations in the league. Derrick Henry and he has Dalvin Cook as his second pick. Huge to me, huge pickup. Very very easy. Very easily the top two first and second round picks. I know Hayden here has McCaffrey and Joe Mixon. To me, that's number two. By far, I love both of those combinations. Going running back, running back. That's exactly what I wanted to do. Um, but as you can see, I took Debo Samuel. There was no way I could pass up Debo. It was the 8th pick here. Um, Swift and Mixon both taken underneath of me. I really wanted a running back, but Debo being there, I like Debo over Fournette. I like Debo over James Conner. And I honestly didn't think Debo would last to my third round pick, whereas I thought James Conner might last. And so that was who I was targeting third round. And obviously, Conway took that from me. I got two questionable first round draft picks here. Josh Allen goes number 5. He had Jonathan Taylor. I guess he wanted the number one overall running back with the number one quarterback. I guess I get that in a sense, but I still think he probably could have got Josh Allen in the third round. Um, but with his, what he was the 9th pick in the third round, I guess there's a chance somebody might snag up Josh Allen. But to me, I don't take a quarterback early ever. So I do not like the pick. He could have stacked up with Joe Mixon and had Jonathan Taylor and Joe Mixon, and to me that would have probably been the number one duo to start the draft. But instead went Josh Allen. Um, Everybody else is pretty legit. I know he went Devontae Adams. Slim went Devontae Adams. I'd still run it back. Run it back to me is what I would have done. I like Joe Mixon. finished I think top five. He was fourth, yeah, fourth. So to me, I would have went Mixon. I would have went running back. But obviously, Devontae Adams is a monster. He's going to get a ton of targets in Vegas. So I don't question that at all. Um, I do question Alonzo's pick here at 10. He went Jalen Waddle. Somebody he probably could have got in the fourth round of this draft. He took in the second round with the 10th pick. Probably the worst pick of the draft. He's got a couple of them that are really bad. I would say this is by far probably the worst. He could have had Connor. He could have had Andrew. He could have had Keenan Allen. I think there was a lot more value um, than to have Jalen Waddle at 10 here. He did go Mark Andrews with the third round pick, which to me is also again questionable because his team is Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, and now a tight end, Mark Andrews. No running backs. Very, very questionable starting off, especially this year. I mean, even in the past years, I feel like running back, going heavy early is what you kind of have to do if you want really good value at that position. So getting Mark Andrews here, to me, I just don't see it. You could have had James Conner. That's who I wanted with my pick. Didn't get him. And so I had Eckler and Debo, and I didn't get the running back that was here. I don't like Javonte Williams. I don't like Cam Akers. So to me, I had to go with the best available, which was Travis Kelsey. He's going to outscore everybody else that was picked in this round this year. Number one target by far for Kansas City. So there was no way I could pass up Kelsey here. I had to do that. It seemed everybody else though, Keenan, Allen, Mike Williams. I don't like Javante, but I don't blame people for taking him. Tyreek Hill, I like Hill. I like Pittman. CeeDee Lamb's a little iffy, but he could be good in that offense. I love DJ Moore. Great pick here. I was actually hoping DJ Moore would fall somewhere in the fourth round, but he did not. Um, so good pick by him. I don't like Akers. Higgins is iffy. I like Higgins as a talent, but I think Jamar Chase is gonna explode even more this year, and I think that's gonna take away from Higgins a little bit. Higgins did have a couple like touchdowns get dropped right at the 1 yard line last year, so he could be more of a value pick this year. But I just to me Chase is just by far the better player. Chubb and Barkley, Pitts to me is questionable here in round four. I don't think he's a top three tight end this year. I think his quarterback situation's very iffy, and I just don't see him excelling in that offense. He has a great talent, but I would pass on Pitts this early. So I went Brees Hall fourth round. I had to go running back here. I already got a tight end, a receiver, and number one running back. So to me, going running back the next couple of rounds was the plan. I wanted to go obviously round one and two, but couldn't. So Brees Hall here. I took a little risk. He could be a three down back for a really bad team, catch a lot of passes in the backfield, get some garbage touchdowns here and there. He could end up playing that Saquon Barkley-ish role that he did as a rookie. Obviously, I would say Barkley came out with way more hype. Obviously, Barkley was like a top five pick, top three pick, whatever it was. But Brees Hall can definitely get that sort of volume. Michael Carter to me is not any threat to him. Only questionable pick in round four that I would really be concerned about is Justin Herbert right here in round four. I just don't like quarterbacks early. It's something that I just don't do. I've never done. I don't like it. So Justin Herbert here, especially with with J.K. Dobbins, Chris Godwin, Brandon Cooks. I just to me, there's a lot of value right here at position where you can get somebody like Justin Herbert later in later rounds, in my opinion. Um, but I don't blame him, I guess. Well, I guess if you look at his team, so it's actually a really bad pick because he went receiver, tight end, and quarterback. He has no running backs through the first four rounds. I disagree 100%. This actually might be the worst pick of the draft. Knowing you don't have any running backs and you went quarterback, I think that might end up being the worst pick of the draft. over the Jalen Waddle second round pick. Um, he has to go running back here. He went Zeke. I don't like Zeke. I think Zeke's going to be a decent player. He did finish top 10 last year, but Pollard's going to definitely keep eating at his attempts. Um, Pollard's the more explosive back. Zeke obviously is probably going to get a lot more goal line work than him, but to me it's 50-50. You know Zeke could go for 20, he could go for 5. So I don't like him. I don't like there's no upside to Zeke in my opinion. Um, so I don't really like that pick. Mahomes right here in round 5. I don't blame you at all for that. Mahomes is a beast. He's gonna be throwing the ball a lot. They have no run game, so I'm 100% Mahomes. Definitely a top 5 quarterback in my eyes. So I don't blame you, I guess, there with that. Um, I went J.K. Dobbins in the 5th round. Another risk right here. I wanted to go running back. I don't like again. There was no running backs here going all the way through. What David Montgomery and Josh Jacobs, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I don't like any of those. So to me, I went best running back available. J.K. Dobbins was him. I already had a good run receiver with Debo Samuel, so I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and get 3 running backs early, and be ready for that position. That way, I can go in the 6th, 7th, and 8th and go receiver. So I did lose out on Chris Godwin, Brandon Cooks, Jerry Jeudy, Metcalf, Amon St. Brown. All great picks right here in round 5. Lamar Jackson did get taken. I disagree with that. I feel like I love Lamar Jackson as a talent, as a runner. He's really good, but I think they're gonna struggle. I think they're gonna struggle this year. I think he may struggle a little bit this year. They're taking away Marquise Brown from him. The run game to me might struggle early because Dobbins might not be there, and with it being Mike Davis and they just signed somebody, maybe Kenyon Drake. I can't remember exactly who it was, but with Dobbins questionable and maybe out the first week, second week maybe, I feel like he could struggle with no weapons out there. But round 6, Kyler Murray. I like Murray. I think they're going to run the ball a little bit more um, than they did last year. They ran the ball a good amount too, but I do see James Conner taking on a bigger role with Edmonds gone. It showed last year when Edmonds was gone. Connor was a very 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 good solid. I would say top 5 running back last year. So um, I think he could end up in the top 5 this year as well. But I don't like David Montgomery. I love Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is gonna, to me, top 5 quarterback this year. Um, Kittle, Jacobs, Sutton, and Waller. I feel like you kind of have to go this route, best available at the moment. You're not going to take any. You're not going to take Edwards Hilaire, Gabe Davis. You're not going to take the Bills defense over any of them. So I understand all of those picks there. I went Marquise Brown. Um, to me, especially those first 4 weeks, Marquise Brown's going to be the target, the guy. Uh, I think he explodes. And we've seen even last year with Hopkins, even was supposedly healthy and on steroids, whatever you want to call it. He struggled, and so I don't see how Marquise Brown's not going to be the number one. I know how good Hopkins is, and when he comes back, he has a chance to be, the same guy he was. But to me, Marquise Brown, Kyler Murray, they're gonna get him the ball in any way. I see them doing sweeps. I see them doing a lot of like not a Debo Samuel, more like a Tyreek Hill ish kind of role there, and I think he's gonna score a lot of fantasy points this year. Bills defense round 7, horrible pick, horrible pick. I really don't understand. It's almost as if his son was drafting this team or something. I don't know. He right at this point has we can go we can go look. He didn't even have a running back yet. He only had Zeke. That was it. So to me, that's crazy that he went he went the guy that he did. He took Gabe Davis. Again, I disagree with that pick as well. Um, but Bills defense round 7. You should not draft a defense until round 19, 18, 19. So horrible pick. That's that definitely is the winner. Worst pick in the draft. He owns like all three or four of those at the moment. I love the Allen Robinson pick. That was the only person that I might have taken over Michael Thomas here. I do love Michael Thomas. I think Michael Thomas could be a top 10 receiver this year. Is it probable? Probably not. I would say more on the lines of top 20, but he could. He has the talent to be a top 10 receiver. And with Jameis Winston throwing the ball, we've seen receivers, obviously Mike Evans, Godwin, they've exploded with him as well at quarterback. So I don't see why Thomas wouldn't be, higher than round 7. I love getting him in round 7. Um, Singletary, Elijah Mitchell, Miles Sanders, Antonio Gibson. There's a reason why I went receiver here. I don't like any of these running backs at all. Definitely don't want them in my starting lineup. Um, so more of a bench, not even really a flex, but more of a bench, hopeful-ish kind of thing. I don't like any of those picks. So Michael Thomas definitely was a no-brainer there. Juju, I definitely could have took Juju there, but I think the upside is more in Michael Thomas's favor than Juju. So great pick here by Chris. I love Juju. I think he's going to be a baller as well this year. Um, Kareem Hunt, Russell Wilson, T.J. Hawkinson, Amari Cooper, Adam Thielen. I love Adam Thielen right here, round 8. Adam Thielen, that's probably one of the best values of the whole. And I know his ADP is around this, but it's just like to me, Adam Thielen, like he's so underrated as like he had a 30, 17, 16, another almost a 30, 19, 22, 23. He had some health issues, going at the end. But he I know he's not Justin Jefferson, but he has his games where he can explode. And he's always been like that. So I don't understand why we kind of sleep on Adam Thielen here. Um, it was either Adam Thielen or Hunter Renfrow is who I wanted out of this. I didn't like anybody else. I don't like really Bateman. I don't like Cooper. Um, I was 100% going receiver again right here. So I don't like the rookie. He could be decent. You don't know. You don't know how the chemistry is going to be with a year 2 quarterback and a year 1 receiver. So um, I don't like Devontae Smith. AJ Brown's obviously the number 1 by far. And I think he actually got traded. Did he get traded today? I think he might have. So he might not even be there anymore. I can't remember. But Hunter Renfrow in round 8, a top 10 receiver last year, and to me again could be a top 10 receiver again this year. Double teams thrown at Devontae Adams. He's going to be open again. He was terrorizing double teams last year and was still a top 10 receiver. So to me, Hunter Renfrow, it was not an accident. It was not a fluke. He is going to be a top 15 at least receiver um, next year and for years to come. I think he is going to be a Edelman isk kind of player. I love Renfro. He's a monster. Getting him in round 8 to me, that's probably the best value of the entire draft. Um, in my eyes, I might be a little biased because he's on my team, but that's how. So then you got Alonzo here going again. Tony Pollard. He is now his two starting running backs are Dallas Cowboys. He's got Zeke and Pollard. I guess you kind of had to because he didn't have any other option at running back. I mean, you got Cordell Patterson, AJ Dillon, Ramondre Stevenson. I mean, I guess you kind of have to go Pollard. Um, I maybe would have taken Rashad Penny over Pollard. Pollard has upside if something happens to Zeke, but Zeke played almost every game last year, or did play every game last year. So I think you're kind of going off of like a saying like he might get hurt. I don't think he's gonna get hurt. So Pollard is more of a not even really a flex play. I feel like he's more of a hopeful. If in his case, it's not hopeful because if Zeke gets hurt, he loses the running back. So um, I don't like the pick. Good luck. I hope. I think Pollard's a beast. I like Zeke, but I think they share way too much um, for them to either one explode in fantasy. Um, Goddard, I like Goddard. I think he's going to be better than what people expect him to be. I think AJ Brown's going to open up a lot for them, and I think Goddard's going to probably benefit the most from that. Christian Kirk, I love Kirk in Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence is going to take a huge step up, and I think Christian Kirk's going to be. I think he's going to end up being a starter in my receiving core, and I got a pretty decent receiving core, and I think he's going to end up being a starter at some point, just because I think he's going to get a lot of volume, and they're going to be, to me, they're probably going to be down a lot, and they're going to be throwing the ball a lot. So I'm very excited about Christian Kirk in the ninth round. That's, to me, one of the better picks for me in the draft. Cordell Patterson, AJ Dillon, these are all normal picks, all understandable. Nothing out of the ordinary here. I do like the Zach Ertz pick here. I think Ertz is going to be a baller this year. I really like Ertz. Um, Ayuk, Penny, Hopkins. Getting Hopkins in the 10th round again, to me, huge value. He could be really good, but he could also be really bad. We've seen that he was really bad for the most part last year. He had a couple games where he was pretty good, but when have you seen Hopkins only producing numbers like this? You haven't. So I don't know what was going on with this, but to me, if he does this again, he's even if he does that, he's worth a 10th round pick. But to me, I think he's kind of maybe falling off a little bit. I don't see him being a top 10 receiver, top 20 receiver next year, or this year. Aaron Rodgers, I don't like the Aaron Rodgers pick, even though it is round 10. I don't like Aaron Rodgers this year at all. They're gonna run the ball like crazy to me. I don't see why anybody would take Rodgers over Burrow. Why you would take Rodgers over? Let's see who else is right here. Dak Prescott. I like Dak Prescott over Aaron Rodgers. Um, I got Stafford and I like Stafford over um, Aaron Rodgers. So I think there was other values here, except for to go for Aaron Rodgers. Maybe he's an Aaron Rodgers fan. I don't know, but to me, I think there was a better pick there with that. I took Damion Pierce. I love Pierce. Stock is for him is going up like crazy. I've did some mock drafts after this one, and I've seen people taking him in the 7th round now, and it's going up. It seems like it's just moving up and up and up with him. Um, it looks like he's the lead back for sure, 100% in a bad offense where he can catch some passes. He's going to get most of the goal line work. I feel like Burkhead's not going to take anything from him. He's going to be full force on with it. He could get a lot of touches this year and could be a huge pickup in round 10 for me. Getting again Stafford in the 11th round. I don't see how that happened. A top five quarterback last year, going to be a top five quarterback again this year. I believe that with my whole heart. I don't see why they're not going to run the ball. They're not going to do anything. They're going to feed Cooper Cup and Allen Robinson and Higbee, and they're going to throw the ball and they're going to score a lot of points again. And Stafford's going to be a huge reason of that. So I don't see how. Me, I got Stafford in the 11th round, but when I seen he was the best available, I took that immediately. There was no question about that at all. Um, I do like the Edmonds pick here in round 11. I think Edmonds is going to end up being a top 20, top 15 running back when it's all said and done this season. I think he's going to catch a lot of passes. I think Hill, and they're going to be worried about Hill and Waddle and however you say the tight end's name. I can't say his name, but I think they got a lot to worry about downfield, and Edmonds is going to catch a ton of passes out of the backfield. Um, and we don't know if Tua can throw the ball accurate down the field or not yet. So I guess we'll see how that goes. And if not, he's going to be dumping off the chase a ton. Really, to me, a really bad pick here, round 11, taking Justin Tucker. You should not take a um, kicker or a defense until the last 2 or 3 rounds. Round 11, there was just like again, he could have took Edmonds. He could have had Tyler Boyd, Pickens, who is going to be a really good rookie, and he could explode in that Pittsburgh offense. So to me, there's a ton of value right here, and going kicker to me, not a good pick at all. Um, Landry, Moore, Melvin Gordon, right here, Melvin Gordon. That is who I was targeting this round. I wanted to get Melvin Gordon with my eighth pick in the 12th round, and then I wanted to get James Cook here in round 13, but instead he stole that pick from me. I think Melvin Gordon is a huge value round 12. They're going to continue to split. I know everybody's on the hype train with Javante, but to me, Melvin Gordon is going to get the same role that he did last year. He finished 21st in running backs last year. He caught passes. He had games where he had 24 carries, 21 carries, 18, 13, 11, 10, 10, 17, 15, 12. It's going to be the same role. He's not going to take a backup role where he's just waiting and then if something happens, he's going to go. No, he's going to get in the game. He's going to score touchdowns. He's going to be on the goal line. He's going to get a ton of work still. So to me, Melvin Gordon round 12 compared to getting Javante round 3, huge, huge pickup right here. I love the pick. Um, Slim going Cowboys defense with round 12 to me is a little iffy. Um, I know his team is probably filled out at this point, so he's just trying to fill up the starting roster. He is a Cowboys fan, so I mean that also kind of dimes into that. He don't want someone else to get his cow. He can root for his defense. You know what I mean? But at the same time, James Robinson, James Cook, who I got, who can to me be a three down back in one of the best offenses in the league. To me, Singletary is nobody. He's not anything special. I think James Cook could be huge for that. But to me, there was a ton of value here to go defense. Derek Carr still being here, I took him. Mike Getsky, or however you say his name, that's a huge value at tight end, in my opinion. So I think going defense there was a little iffy, but I do love that I got James Cook round 12 and Derek Carr round 13. Derek Carr, I'm saying it right now, Derek Carr will be a top 5 quarterback this year. I think I got Derek Carr, Patrick Mahomes, Matthew Stafford, um, Jalen Hurts, and Tom Brady. Those will be the top 5 quarterbacks this year, in my opinion. Um, so to me, it's crazy. Derek Carr is going around 13. I love it. I love every second of it. Kirk Cousins is somebody that could squeeze into that top 5 ish, top 7 as well. He's got a ton of people to pass the ball. Irv Smith, Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook out of the backfield, Madison out of the backfield. So he's got so many weapons that he can sling the ball to as well. So Kirk Cousins always a sneaky peek. He finished 9 last year. No one talks about him. Going round 13, a top 10 quarterback. I love that pick right there by I think that's Chris. Is that Chris? I think it's Chris. Um, Again, Buccaneers defense here, round 14. People are probably starting to just try to fill out the rosters. I get it, but to me, like Brian Robinson, who before got shot was a really good talent, um, and a good value right here. I definitely would have taken him. Alexander Madison, who is a 30 bomb waiting to happen if Cook, not if Cook, but when Cook isn't on the field, because it seems as if he's always not on the field. So Madison, to me, getting him in round 14, I love that. I love every second of it. I'll take that every time because Madison is going to score in at least 2 or 3 games a 20 to 30 point game. So I love having Madison right there. So everybody that's been taking defenses and kickers and everything right here, I love every second of that. Let me get the value right here. Another great player that I like, Wandel Robinson. I think he's going to be huge, huge for that Giants offense. I think they're going to use him like a Tyreek Hill. They're going to have him running all over the field, doing everything. Obviously, I don't think he's going to be a top 5 receiver, top 10, even top 15 or 20, anything like that. But I think he can end up being a top 30 receiver by the end of the year, and kind of taking on like how like Amon St. Brown did at the end of the year last year. I could see Wandell Robinson taking on that kind of role towards the end of the year and getting the touches that he needs. Um, Everybody's filling out rosters here, as you can see. You got kickers and receivers. Shark in Detroit, I don't think, to me it's not going to be anything crazy. Um, I'm pretty sure he just got traded. To me, just a normal pick. Defenses and kickers like crazy right here. To me, I'm still going for value. I would have rather have had Ingram. The people are passing up. A lot of people right here. Kenneth Gainwell, who if Sanders, messes up, which he always does, always gets hurt. Gainwell can end up getting a lot of touches in that Philly offense. I like Irv Smith. I like Evan Ingram, Isaiah Likely. All of these value picks right here over these kickers and defenses likely could end up being a top 10 tight end this year if they run double tight end setups like they did with Hayden Hurst, which I think they will do because Lamar Jackson don't have a number 1 receiver anymore. He's got Bateman, to me, who's iffy. We don't know what he's gonna do, and obviously, J.K. Dobbins iffy as well. So to me, he's gonna be on the field a lot, and he's probably gonna catch a lot of passes. I like likely. I went uh, the Kansas City rookie. I've actually dropped him as of late. I went ahead and picked up Mike Davis for the just in case of J.K. Dobbins, but I do like this kid. I think I drafted him a little too early. I think we're still a year or two away from this kid being good, but I think this guy right here is going to be a sleeper pick by the end of the year or next year. Isaiah is going to be really good. Clyde Edwards-Helaire to me is not going to do it, and I think this kid's going to step up and be really good. Um, Mark Ingram, big pick in round 17. Anything happens to Kamara, this dude right here is going to score 20 fantasy points a week. I know he's fallen off a little bit. He's not the player that he was, but to me, he still finds the end zone. He's going to do that. So, huge backup right here. Alexander Madison ish type of player. I like the pick. That's who I was actually not going to take a defense right here, and I was going to try to go ahead and just get Mark Ingram, but he wasn't there. I love getting the Patriots defense right here. If the Patriots are going to win games, it's going to be by their defense. Their offense is going to be horrible. So, to me, getting the Patriots defense, Bill Belichick will figure that part out. He will not figure out the offensive part. It's not going to happen. So I do love the Patriots defense, even though I hate Bill Belichick right now with a passion. And then getting Greg Joseph, they're going to score a lot of touchdowns. They're going to score a lot of points. I like Greg Joseph as a kicker. I was glad to get him right there as well. Most of the kickers and defenses were taken anyway, but they left me really two good options with the Patriots and Greg Joseph. So I'm completely 100% fine with those two picks at the end. Overall, I took a good amount of risk with a lot of rookies. Um, but to me, I really like my team. Stafford at quarterback, Eckler, Brees, Debo, Marquise Brown, Michael Thomas, Travis Kelsey, Hunter Renfro in my starting lineup. And then I got Dobbins, Kirk, Pierce, James Cook, Derek Carr, Madison, Wandel, Irv Smith, and Mike Davis on my bench. To me, I say I have a top 3 to 5 ish team starting out with the potential of explosion coming from Dobbins, Damion Pierce, and James Cook. I think those three running backs could explode, and then that boosts my team, even higher having that extra running back. Obviously, we don't know what Brees Hall is going to be either. But to me, I would say Hayden probably has the best team. This guy right here, Tom Brady, McCaffrey, Mixon, Keenan Allen, Terry McLaurin, Chris Godwin, Darren Waller. I don't like Drake London, so and his kind of his flex options are a little iffy. But I do think that starting lineup for all the way until Drake London is insane. I think that's a really good, really explosive lineup. I would say he definitely has the best, if not the second best team starting out right now. And then I would go Chris right here, Cook. He's got Jalen Hurts, Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, Pittman, Jerry Judy, Juju, Hawkinson, and Nick Chubb in his starting lineup with a pretty decent bench: Melvin Gordon, Tyler Boyd, A.J. Dillon, and Hopkins. So to me, second best team. We're throwing me in third. I'm gonna say Slim with my fourth projection here. Lamar, Najee Harris, Saquon Barkley, Adams, Hill, Claypool, Kittle, Gibson. To me, all of those are great picks. If Barkley explodes, if Hill stays the same player, it's kind of up in the air for these Pittsburgh receivers. We don't know who's going to be the one to kind of branch out over the other ones. So, but to me, great lineup here. He's got Edmonds on the bench. He's got Amari Cooper. If they end up signing a quarterback somewhere somehow, he and to me he's the only catching option anyway for them. So he might end up being in that starting lineup in the flex spot or even over Chase Claypool and could be huge for him. Um, then Conway, Team Conway at fifth. And again, guys, anybody in the comments, please let me know what y'all think of these teams and where you would rank them as well. I would love the feedback on that. Conway, Mahomes, Leonard Fournette, James Conner, Justin Jefferson, Mike Williams, Allen Robinson, Goddard, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. The reason he is so far down is because, to me, of his bench play and his flex play. If he had a couple decent players right here on the bench and a good flex, to me, probably the best team. Having two, to me, top seven running backs, a top five quarterback, Justin Jefferson, Mike Williams, who's going to be in probably the best offense in the league, Allen Robinson, who's probably going to be in the second best offense in the league. I just, and, Goddard, to me, I still like Goddard. I think Goddard's going to be a top seven tight end ish. So he's got a really explosive team. He could be somebody that I think I play him week one, and I don't want to play him week one. I think his team could explode. So that's definitely my pick number five. And then we're gonna go Eric right here: Josh Allen, Jonathan Taylor, Jacobs, Evans, Brandon Cooks, Thielen, Pitts, and Miles Sanders. That's a decent team, not bad. Um, I got him at sixth, and then we got Lutz right here: Kyler Murray, Kamara, Akers, AJ Brown, DJ Moore, Amon, St. Brown, Kareem Hunt, Schultz. That's a pretty good starting lineup that could be explosive, but I'm not 100% on Akers. Not 100% on Schultz as well, and then Kareem Hunt obviously sharing the backfield. I don't know how much volume he'll continue to get in that, to me, what is going to be a struggling Browns offense. Solo Cup coming in at 8. Trey Lance, Swift, Javonte Williams, Cooper Kupp, Deontay Johnson, Sutton, Knox, and Elijah Mitchell. Obviously, this team can explode. Mitchell has shown that he can, drop bombs. Knox had a couple games where he kind of, had bombs. Cortland Sutton could be the number one receiver for Denver. You never know. I think it's Judy, but he could explode. He could be really good. Deontay Johnson's a beast. I love Johnson. I think he's good. Obviously, he has Cooper Kupp. Javonte Williams for me is the kind of the deal breaker. I don't see him being insane. And then same with Trey Lance. I think they're gonna run the ball a lot, and I think they're gonna give the ball to Debo a lot. I don't know how much Trey Lance is really gonna like. I don't see him throwing for 4,500 yards and 35 touchdowns or anything crazy like that. But I think he's gonna, I think he'll do well. I just don't know how well. I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback in the league. And then we got Lewis at 9. Team swoosh here. Russell Wilson, Aaron Jones, David Montgomery. I like Stephon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, and Higgins. He's got a really good receiving core right here that could be really explosive. To me, his running backs are iffy. Jones and Montgomery, I don't like that. He's got Metcalf in his flex, which is insane to me. That's a really good pick, having in your flex. But again, his running backs, and then even then, he has Naheem Hines and Kenneth Gainwell as his backups. I don't. Rashad Penny as well. I like Penny. I I would almost start Penny over Montgomery. I just don't trust Chicago at this point. Um, but not he could have a decent team here, just depending on what Aaron Jones and Montgomery do. Um, and then last but definitely least, Alonzo. No offense, buddy. I'm sorry, but Justin Herbert, Zeke, Pollard, Jamar Chase, Gabe Davis, Garrett Wilson, Mark Andrews, and Cole Kmet in his starting lineup right now. Waddle for some reasons on his bench. Prescott, Kenneth Walker, Julio Jones, likely. Again, I like likely. Julio could be decent. I don't like the Waddle pick. I think Hill's going to eat some of that from him, and he obviously took him in the second round. To me, definitely the worst draft. One of the worst drafts I've seen somebody have, and he's got players that can explode. Mark Andrews, Jamar Chase. Some of those players can win you your league that week by themselves. Jamar Chase dropped like 50 something last year, and won me a league just off that one week. He dropped 55. Yeah, so explosive players, but I think the overall team that he has, it was definitely not a good draft for him. I would not be ecstatic about this draft. Um, but much love, guys. I appreciate everybody listening today. Make sure if you haven't, hit that sub button, turn notifications on. I do stream on Facebook, Twitch. I do post on TikTok, YouTube, and YouTube Shorts as well. So make sure you guys get subbed up to everything. And I appreciate everybody tuning in. Much love, guys. See you next time.